Tom here, Flip Anything USA. Uh, so today didn't get the videos quite out this week that I expected to. What did I get out? I got something out. I can't even remember. But been real busy. Bought another car today too. And but I was thinking about today is one thing I've always been good at is getting things done. I know sometimes you get overwhelmed, there's a lot of stuff to do. I know some people, they just kind of throw their arms up and it's like they don't know where to start, and then they don't start. Or they start in the least productive places sometimes, and sometimes you just gotta get things nailed down. Anyways, what I was going to talk about today is I say I'm good at getting things done like that, and one of the reasons is, these are my boys behind me, by the way. These are my twin boys. Anyways, that's Nick and Ryan. What I was going to talk about was some people just kind of throw their arms up and they don't really take care of business and get things done, and that's the last thing you want to do. One of the things I like to do is I like to get things off my plate. So when there's things to do, I just get it done. You just get it done, and you're much less likely to be overwhelmed when you take the approach of, I'm just going to get it done. I'm going to get this off my plate. I've got some property issues. I got some tax things. I got to fight over tax appraisals and some different things, and these are significant battles. I'm fighting for money. or values. I'm fighting over valuations, so I don't get taxed at higher valuations than I feel is fit. A lot of times it can seem overwhelming, but a lot of times if you just kind of nail things down to what can I get off my plate quickest, or what is the most important thing I get off my plate, you can really make a lot of progress that way. But no matter what, sitting around thinking about it ain't gonna get it done. You can't just sit there and contemplate, paralysis by analysis, whatever you want to talk about, because then you get near the very end and then you don't have time to really do a good job on all of it, and it'll come back and haunt you. So I guess what I was going to try to say is write things down. You can prioritize them. I don't have to do that quite so much. I'm pretty good at just keeping that stuff in my head, but sometimes I got to write things down to make sure I remember everything that I got to get done, so I don't get last minute. One thing I'll say is, sometimes you got to have a clean workspace. That could be a clean desk or whatever. And I think some people even make an excuse to I'm going to clean my desk before I do anything. And I understand for some people that's actually pretty darn important. For me, I'm more, whatever's in that folder I got to get done. It doesn't matter. I might have a giant pile. It took me 3 days to clean my desk. So I just knock it out and get it done. But anyhow, just kind of sharing. I feel pretty good. I knuckled down and I just got a bunch of stuff off my plate today. And a lot of these things were negotiations that people didn't want to have to deal with. And I just, said, look, no, we're going to take care of it. We're going to take care of it now, or X is going to happen, And, sometimes you got to kind of push people, to get things resolved, agreements, or, might have disagreement over something, who knows what. But, I'm just one to, if there's an issue, I don't like it to rest. I go straight for it. If there's trouble, if somebody's upset with me, or, or there's just something not resolved, that's on my plate. I want to get it off my plate. So boom, I go straight there, and, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But in the end, I get it over with. Now, another thing is worst case scenarios. A lot of people are just so fearful of, they keep thinking, oh, what if, or oh, this could happen or that could happen. Well, what you should do is, what I do, I think, is I think about what's the worst thing that can happen. What's the worst thing that can happen? This could be a lawsuit, this could be who knows what. And I just take the very worst scenario, and then I start from there. And I think, okay, I'll weather it, I'll take care of it this way, it's gonna cost me X amount of money. And sometimes, you know, you break things down and you realize, I just don't like to lose. I don't like to lose ever. And I'm not just talking about lawsuits, I don't like to lose. I like when I play to win, games or whatever, I like to win. And, but when it comes to things that you gotta deal with that are hard, you know, you just gotta figure, what's the worst thing that can happen? And then you think, okay, how will I deal with that if that happens? And once you resolve that in your mind, how you're going to handle the worst thing that could happen, everything else is easy. Everything else is easy after that. And fear, man, fear gets in the way like nothing else of people. People are so fearful sometimes, and others, you know what? They got it down. I'll give you an example. I was in a situation, man, it was a big multi-million-dollar deal. And it sucked. It was just, you know, I'm bouncing these two boys on my lap and I'm staring right through them because, you know, I got the potential to lose a couple $1 million or a few $1 million. And this is some time ago, like years ago. But you know what? I finally figured out worst case scenario. Okay, it's gonna cost me X. And man, it's gonna hurt. But if it happens, I'm gonna weather it. I thought about, okay, maybe I'd have to sell this or that, or, you know, whatever. I was already making arrangements in my mind of what I'd have to do to contend with that situation. And as soon as I do that, then it's like, okay, now let's try to not let anything bad happen and let's beat this thing or whatever the deal was at the time. And that way, I mean, I get a tremendous amount of calm in my mind when I figure out what the worst situation is, and then I think about, I already know how I'm going to deal with the worst situation. Then I can go on to thinking about strategizing to beat things out or whatever, you know, to make things work. So I'm just kind of sharing all this just because I've had quite a few things going on this week, and I'm pretty proud of myself that I just boom, knock things out and get it out of the way. And you know, a lot of people, it's funny, people will tell me, they'll say, because I tell them, you know what, I'm just taking it easy now. I'm not really, you know, I kind of consider myself a little bit semi-retired now. And when people hear me talk, these are the guys around the coffee shop that I know, they're going, I thought you were going to retire. And I'm like, you know what? All these little projects that I'm talking about doing, properties I'm buying, this, that, or the other thing, that is small by comparison to what I used to do. So it's all relative, you know. But I'm losing track here what I was going to get at. But I'll tell you something here. I'll tell you about a car. Well, I'll save that for another video about how I bought a car. The way I negotiated this car was actually pretty cool. But we'll save that for another video. So anyhow, that's all. I'm just going to share my thoughts on that. You know, when you're faced with a lot to do, man, just start chipping away. And, you know, if you can prioritize or if you're fearful, you know, one thing, oh yeah, back to fear. When you're, most things you're afraid of will never happen. They just won't happen. So when you really have something weighing heavy on you, fear, you can go ahead and think it through. What's the worst thing that can happen, like I was talking about. But the other thing is, it's probably not gonna happen. And I'll give you a perfect example. I had a buddy of mine who was also, he's actually a lawyer too, in real estate. And we got into kind of a tangle on a deal, and being sued, I actually got dragged into this stupid lawsuit, and I should have never been in it. But it actually ended up suing lawyers and everything else. Anyhow, in the end, I won. You know, I got everything I wanted. But man, it was a pain in the ass, and took a pile of money and a lot of effort and research to win, and I won. But it was a pain in the ass, either way. So the one guy that I know is a friend of mine, he was in this thing too, or he had the potential to be in it, really had the potential. And I said, hey man, let's get together and talk. We get together and talk, and So I was asking him about his errors and omissions insurance, and basically our whatever the insurance was exactly, I can't remember exactly how it fell on, probably malpractice. Because I felt this friend of mine, even though he was my friend, he was actually, you know, vulnerable and culpable, I would say, I guess. And so I told him, I said, well, hey, I want to talk to you about this. I said, you know, I was telling about, you know, this and that, and this could cost hundreds of thousands. And I said, you know, tell me about your insurance. He said, oh, because Tom, I don't even have any insurance. And I go, what? You don't have any insurance? Are you kidding me? And he goes, no. And I said, well, aren't you worried about getting sued and being personally held liable for this stuff? And he says, well, nothing I can do about it now. He goes, let's go eat. Didn't even faze him. Didn't even bother him. Just did not. He wasn't going to worry about something that hasn't happened yet. And that's power. Whether he has it by power or he just has it by whatever part of his mind doesn't let him. I'm very analytical. I think things through heavily. So it's always a challenge for me. That's why I got to do that worst case thing I told you about. Where he just, yeah, well, let's go eat. Just didn't give it another thought. And in hindsight, after years of sweat and bullets on this issue that we were dealing with at the time, he was never bothered by it. So if he had spent any time having fear and worrying and losing sleep, it would have all been a waste for him because it never touched him, okay? Now, in the end, you know what? I could have saved a lot of time and fear, and anxiety too, because in the end I won. Although I went through hell, I did win. But anyways, that's all. I'll end it there. Hope there's something in there to think about. But you know, nothing to fear but fear itself. And like I say, just think it through when you got a worst case situation that you're fearful of. You know, if you can't just knock the fear out of your mind, then think about the worst thing that's going to happen, and then begin dealing with it from there. So that's it for now. Flip Anything USA. Hope you have a great day. And me and the boys here, we're walking to go grab something to eat. And we'll please subscribe and watch and like and share. We'll see you. Good night.